Well, we're waiting for our commentary to come through. There you are, the sides, England and France, the Five Nations decider. Interesting sideline here. It's Serge Blanco's last game, he says, come hell or high water for France. He's never scored a try at Twickenham, so he'll perhaps put matters right today. In the playoffs, we've had Scotland beating Ireland 3-0. Still waiting for our commentary to come through.
Ja, dis die huidige telling tussen Skotland en Ierland dan. Skotland 3-0 voor teen Ierland, maar hier dan die eindstryd van jaar Engeland teen Frankryk en is Engeland wat gaan afskop. Skeieregter van Wallis vanmiddag. En Serge Blanco, die kaptein daar, sy laaste wedstryd, 85ste wedstryd wat hy speel vir Frankryk, reeds 33 drieë in die blou trui gedruk. Nou ja, dit is die Engelse wat hier baie vinnig minslaan uit daardie beweging, is Mike Teague. Wat baie vinnig vorentoe is en is 'n strafskop wat toegeken word aan Engeland. Pieter Winterbottom ook daar.
Looked like a bad mistake there by the French inside their 22 because it was their penalty, wasn't it?
Ja, ons ken die Franse as spelers wat verskillende taktiek gebruik, maar dit het nie gewerk daar in die begin nie.
Well, we'll see if England sticks to its 10-man game. It's used that with obviously a lot of success this year in the Five Nations. A strong pack of forwards, England, and they'll hope to make their presence felt early on.
Simon Hodgkinson, die heel agter van Engeland, gaan kyk of hy die eerste punte op die tellbord kan plaas. Eerste punte op die tellbord vir Engeland gaan dit wees agter die naam van Simon Hodgkinson. Twickenham wat ontplof as Engeland die voortou neem.
Fine kick by Hodgkinson. And that's the start England want.
Baie interessant, die laaste keer wat Engeland ook in wit truie met die roos voor op die bors speel. Dit gaan die laaste keer wees vanaf die Wêreldbeker in Oktober gaan hulle in 'n ander kleurtrui speel wat baie soos die Union Jack vlag gaan lyk.
Might be a bit confusing there because Great Britain, of course, is made up of all the four nations there. To suddenly turn out in the Union Jack might make Scotland, Ireland and Wales a little bit upset.
Bob Andrew wat hom uitjaag en daar is die kortlyn van Engeland. Kortlyn staan. Franse wat kortlyn staan verkies. Philippe Marocco, die haker wat gaan ingooi.
Oh, and a punch being thrown there straight away. Referee not seeing that. Still waiting for our commentators. Well, it looks as if we're not going to be getting our TV commentators for the time being. What we're going to do, though, contingency here, is go across to radio commentary, and we'll pick that up for you right now.
Back to Canberra, a high kick to test. Hodgkinson is going to drop just inside. England's 22, right in front of the post. It comes on the French side, but there is mishandling by France. Disappeared, playing advantage for England and allowing Andrew to put the clearance in. England in a 3-0 lead and clearing their line.
Yeah, we want that ball away, I think, England now safely into touch, because these French boys have already tried to break up the England flow. They called a two-man line out and left Rouma and Benazi. He's an aggressive player, this Benazi. He was first to the floor there against Wade Dooley, and I think they'll really try and break the flow of England's possession up.
The line out's on the French left, just 4 Frenchmen in it against 4 Englishmen, and the barging has started. Richards barged out of contention. France win it. Canberra comes left, crossing the England 10-metre line. Still going, two missed tackles, puts the foot in touch, just outside England's 22, but England will want to eliminate that kind of slipshod tackling on the break by the elusive little French standoff of Canberra going towards the French left. He got cut off eventually, but he had slipped the 2 tackles. France facing, their line-out facing the huge new hospitality boxes at the northern end of Twickenham. Great massive tiers looking down on a line-out right beneath them. It's with Canberra. France going right. Manel cuts back towards England's 22. The cover cuts him off. England go for the ruck. penalty to England for Frenchman going over the top. They could do with this. It's midfield. It's 5 metres outside their 22. And Andrew will want to make very sure this. Carling will probably... the look in Carling's eyes will have told Rob Andrew, get that ball into touch. Andrew is kicking right, hoping to take play outside the England half, away to England's right, just below Mike Burton and me as we look.
Well, significantly, England have not yet won a line-out. All the other games they've played this season, they've dominated that phase, and the French really... There's another line-out now where the French have called a reduced line, 3 men this time, and they're determined not to let England have all their own way. Lots of pushing and shoving with Ackford and Rouma in the front of the line-out.
At Twickenham, it's England 3, France 0. At Murrayfield, it is Scotland 6, a couple of Craig Chalmers penalties to Ireland's 0. And here at Twickenham, we're about just short of 5 minutes into the game. The line-out almost on halfway. Richards has to turn. He's beaten to it by Caban, the French flanker, but England pile into the ruck. Hill manages to serve Carling down the England right. That's a fine chip by the England captain. A good tactical punt ahead into France's 22. It's cut the turf. It's bounced into touch, and he will feel satisfied with that touch kick. Carling goes back to join Jeremy Guscott in the England centre. Way out of touch on the left is Rory Underwood. Andrew Ten is in touch with him. Peter Winterbottom has gone back to join the midfield men. It is a French throw, though. Can the big Englishman take possession inside France's 22 on the England left? The barging is seen and some obstruction by referee Les Peard of Wales. And France get a penalty. The mark is 15 metres in from touch, just inside France's 22. Canberra makes no mistake at all with the screw kick. So your attention is riveted on the line-out. It's fascinating.
It is, and England not getting all their own way there. Les Pears, he's a wily old referee, done all his work down in the valleys, knows all the tricks, the leaning on, the shirt pulling, and he's having none of it. And he's stopped Ackford and Dooley, and France now reduced the line-out again.
Well, it's England actually, because Brian Moore is going to throw to just 2 against 2 with a loose Frenchman at the end, and he competed and won it. It was Caban, and so Rouma goes driving into the England half. Midfield, France win the ruck. They're busy at Canberra. A little handling error as France went forward. Mr. Peard calls a scrummage just within England's half, some 20 metres in from the right-hand touchline. The ball is with Richard Hill of Bath, who today is on his 21st cap. A recovery by Hill from the period when England let him out, perhaps to allow his temperament to cool down a bit, but what a fine competitive scrum half. Going round behind Richards, bending, serving Andrew, moving left. Andrew, the long diagonal, which he places behind Lafond, who will certainly have to speed up as the ball has eluded him. Underwood closes in, and Lafond just makes the safety of touch inside, deep inside France's 22, and you have to hand it to the Andrew touch.
He's got a lovely tactical kicker and a sensible head on him now. He's matured well as Rob Andrew. But they always depend on Wade Dooley and Ackford winning that ball at the line-out. And at the moment, they've only won one. So they're not getting it all their own way. And I think France now a real threat to this England side because they're going to dry up a great deal of their possession.
At the moment, England pose the threat on the England left, deep within France's 22. In comes the ball. It's a long throw. Dooley brings it down, but not for the first time. England offends the line. There will be a clearing penalty for the French on their right, inside their 22. And we have more news from Murrayfield, where Ireland have drawn level. They've crossed the Scottish line through Crossan, and Brian Smith converted his try, and it's 6-6 in the mid-table battle at Murrayfield. 3-0 here at Twickenham. England ahead by a Simon Hodgkinson penalty in the first minute to 0 over a surprised French defence. The French have now pulled themselves together, something around 8 minutes into the Twickenham Grand Slam decider. Tremendous tension here. Twickenham crowded. A lot of people haven't managed to get in, and the car park still full. Television's on. Red wine still being popped as France apply themselves to driving the England 8 away from their 10-metre line. Still on the French right, and France look well knit in the loose, as they did against Wales. They're well together. They're applying a lot of weight and punch and driving steadily down the 10-metre corridor. They come infield. When will they release? The England back row is alert to the danger. They're busy and mishandles. Very good ball for France, so Mr. Peard plays advantage, which Carling takes advantage of. Serves Underwood. Underwood has one man to beat and a lot of support. In goes Leonard. Leonard serves it inside. England have knocked on very close to France's corner flag. You could say a scoring chance has gone begging, but The put-in will be to England, so Mike Redden, it couldn't have been an England infringement, though to my view, it looked like it. There was a try on.
Yeah, it looked like the ball had been thrown over the top because the support players were sort of being covered, and the ball was thrown over the top to Teague. It never reached him, and I think it might have been a French hand that got in to knock it on.
The crowd urging England now to heave, shove as Hill slipped it in. The corner flag is right behind the packs as we look. Hill bends. England try to make an impression on France. Hill darts away trying to secure an offside decision. The French midfield looks suspiciously near offside. Ranged along their goal line. Richard is still holding, and now Mr. Beard calls the penalty. He did give the French backs a warning, and it has to be said that they ignored it. And I would estimate that they remained about 1 metre offside. And in the end, Mr. Beard had no chance. And he's just been told by Will Carling that Simon Hodgkinson, this prolific scorer, will come up from full-back to attempt and see if he can double his penalty tally.
It's lovely to see Les Beard refereeing this in the way that he is. You know, he's very sympathetic towards the players. He gave the French lads every chance there. I know there's a language barrier, but it's a very clear signal that he gave. You are offside now, move back or suffer. And then he moved to the position where he was going to give the penalty, and they still never moved. So really only themselves to blame.
These 2 errors by them in the first 10-12 minutes of the game. I mean, the French don't like playing here, do they, Mike?
No, they never travel very well, especially at Twickenham here, the grey austere stands. You know, we're a very polite sort of crowd, aren't we, in England? And I think they like a little more razzmatazz, a few cockerels with the little sack of wine they get at the Parc de France. Much more atmosphere they used to.
Hodgkinson is on the far side of the field, on the England left, 5 metres in from touch. He begins his run in now, strikes the ball. It looks like another good one from here, but it was difficult to tell, and for once he is off target. The French breathe again, and Blanco is running for all he's worth along his in-goal area. He delivers the pass now to Lafond, and Lafond puts Stella into space outside him. Camberabero has caught up with the attack. It's his chip ahead. He's scored it! Wonderful sleight of hand. Now the French, they score at England's post. Yes, Joe. Tremendous try for France, scored by Saint-André. He scores his second try for his country, and that was the kind of magic that I think the English feared that France would produce. The kind of move Blanco produced a fortnight ago against Wales. It has worked again against England. Saint-André went under the crossbar.
Absolutely marvellous, wasn't it? When Bizier popped the ball up to Blanco behind his own line, I thought, how ridiculous. There's an old prop thinking now, don't be silly, kick the ball down the field and play the game in England 22. He moved the ball to Blanco with all the cheek in the world, went across the try line at an acute angle. The kick's gone over, so France now into the lead, but he went at an acute angle back into the field to play, drew the cover before sending the winger away, and a clever little kick from Camberabero that set up the try.
Yes, it was Camberabero who converted the try, and quite right, Mike. His chip ahead and regathering the ball round about the England 10-metre line was a very high level of skill and a wonderfully executed try. So England fall behind at Twickenham. They trail France now by 6 points to 3. And just as we were saying that France didn't enjoy it playing at Twickenham, my goodness, they've shown great enjoyment and tremendous panache.
It would strike fear into the heart of the England side, though, to think that the team are capable of doing that, what they've just done there, the length of the field, moving the ball behind their own line, remarkable.
England get back to the dour job of competing up front. Andrew has it. He moves it to Carling. Carling goes for the half break. Stella picks him up with help from Menel. Midfield, just on the England right. Hill whisks it to Andrew. England could have a man over. Guscott accelerates, but of all people, Morocco, Francis Hooker. What was he doing there? He caught the Bars flyer in mid-stride. England win the ruck. It's with Andrew again. It's Carling. The French defence is well organised. Carling takes a loop pass from Winterbottom, and the England captain keeps running. He's brought to earth just inside. Francis 22 in front of the post, and that is where Les Beard awards a penalty for a high tackle and has to go. He has to trot back to the forwards to sort out a little.
And what a great game developing there at Twickenham. The French wit against the England juggernaut at Murrayfield. The latest score, Scotland 6, Ireland 6. Remember, they kicked off a quarter of an hour earlier than at Twickenham. Back with football, cricket and rugby union soon.
Nou ja, ons kommentaar weer daar verloor van die radio, maar daar sien ons vir Will Carling wat baie goed gedryf het tot daar. En ons sal, sodra ons weer by ons kommentators kan aansluit, sal ons vir u weer laat hoor van af Twickenham, maar intussen gesels ons uit die ateljee om u op hoogte te hou van sake.
Well, here's a chance for Hodgkinson to level the scores. Fantastic piece of skill that by Cam Rivera to score that or set up that try for France. Wonderful handling, wonderful vision there to see the empty space in the middle of the field.
Nou ja, dit gaan hy nie maklik vergeet nie. Simon Hodgkinson, die heel agter van Engeland. Belangrike fout wat hy daar begaan. Dit gaan hulle dalk duur te staan kom aan die einde Engeland. En nou is dit Didier Camberabero wat spel gaan hervat. Inskop van die kwartlyn af. Nigel Helsop. En het lyk my Engeland wil nou maak soos die Franse ook hardloop uit hulle eie gebied uit. En Serge Blanco wat nie daar kan bemeester nie. Gaan dit 'n aanslaan wees, skrim en Engeland wat goed veld gewen het daar. Serge Blanco, kaptein van Frankryk. Sy laaste wedstryd vandag, nog nooit 'n 3 gedruk op Twickenham nie, gaan hy dit vandag dalk reg kry. Dis hy wat begin hardloop daar uit hulle eie doelgebied uit toe die Franse die eerste punt op die tellbord gekry het met haar die pracht 3. Richard Hill. Rob Andrews. Engeland gaan weer bemeester. En dit gaan die Franse wees in hulle kwartgebied om die bal in te sit. Pierre Babizier en Philip of Didier Camberabero, die skakelbaan van die Franse, wat ook 'n hele klompie wedstryde al saam gespeel het. Maar vir al die Franse wat gevaarlik is uit alle posisies van die veld af. En ek sien daar dat Serge Blanco staan op regtervleuel tans. Skeef ingegooi beduie die skeieregter. Vryskop wat toegeken word aan Engeland.
Well, that was a silly mistake by Babizier there. Giving away a good ball now to England inside the French 22. Can they capitalise?
Richard Hill terugspeel na sy voorspelers. En het steeds die bal. Mike Teague ook daar in aksie. Dus hy wat die bal onder die arm met nummer 6 daar van Engeland. Peter Winterbottom net voor hom wat ook help en werk en dan die agste man Dean Richards. En nou is dit die agterlyn. Hierdie ene van Rob Andrew. Ja, hy's daar en dit word 6 punte elk.
That was good solid driving play by the forwards that set it up there. The ball back to Andrew and no mistake there.
Kom ons kyk weer daarna. Richard Hill. Dan Rob Andrew. Net so halwe wat hy gee. En is heel skakel Didier Camberabero wat te laat is om te keer. 6 punte elk. Die eindstryd in vanjaar se 5 nasie-reeks Engeland teen Frankryk.
When last we heard, Scotland and Ireland were on level terms, 6 apiece.
Didier Camberabero, weer eens diep. Hy het net nou goed skoon gemaak van daar af Rob Andrew. Dink hierdie keer lyk dit my gaan hy doordruk en spel hervat met 'n inskop van die kwartlyn af. 22 meter lyn. Volgepakte Twickenham. Nie minder nie as 58.000 mense wat vandag se wedstryd bywoon. Goed hanteer deur Dean Richards. Engeland wat bemeester daar. Richard Hill en Rob Andrew.
Andrew with a good relieving kick there, and of course Peter Winterbottom's playing, and he's played a lot of rugby out here for in the Transvaal, for Transvaal Pirates. I think he played for too.
Weer eens die Franse wat 'n kortlyn staan verkies. Hierdie keer net 2 manne. Oliver Romat is daar en ook Banazi die 8ste man. Serge Blanco wat nader kom en hy sê nee, dit gaan Didier Camberabero wees wat gaan aanlei na die pale. Gesels hy, sy laaste wedstryd wat hy speel vandag. Pascal Montas, Philip Marocco en Lascobé die voorry van die Franse. Didier Camberabero loskakel van die Franse. Die punttelling is 6 punte elk. 2 strafdoele aan die kant van Engeland, of 1 strafdoel en 1 skepdoel, en aan die kant van Frankryk 1 doel. Gaan hy dit 9-6 maak?
On the side of the flag there, so a miss there for Camberabero. Maybe that makes up for the one that Hodgkinson missed, although Hodgkinson's right in front of the post. Quite inexplicable how he missed there. So England with the 22-metre dropout. All hanging high. Big solid pack of forwards get there first for England. Tap back. Richard Hill waiting for the ball. France must watch they don't go offside here to Andrew inside the 22, and that's a right foot, and he looks to put it into touch. And a late tackle perhaps.
Laat fout, miskien die skeieregter het nog nie aanleiding gegee nie. Ek dink dit was terwyl hy geskop het. Kom ons kyk daar. Ja.
Late and high.
Baie interessant is ook natuurlijk dat Engeland van beide hulle inskoppe van die kwartlyn af hulle eie bal teruggewen het daar.
Well, they've got a huge pair of locks there. Wade Dooley is an enormous man.
Saam met hom Paul Eckford. En nou is dit die flank van die Franse Xavier Blond wat gewaarsku word vir daardie laagvat op die loskakel op Andrew. Was 2 strafskop gewees en Engeland wat nou inskuif tot so 10-12 tree buite die kwartgebied van die Franse. Goed agter probeer kry deur Bonanzi, die 8ste man, maar hy kon hom nie beheer nie. En Engeland gaan ingooi wanneer hy hom vorentoe klap.
Still waiting to rejoin our commentary. As soon as we've sorted out the problems, we'll be crossing back to them. It's Twickenham we're at, and it's the Five Nations decider between England and France, all on the line this afternoon. These two 5 European sides.
Richard Hill, Rob Andrew, en hierdie is baie hoog, Serge Blanco wat agter en wag. En dis pragtig in die hande gekry deur Jeremy Cascott, en hy's baie naby aan die doellyn. Daar lê hy, die bal gaan uitkom. Engeland wag vir hom daar. En is 'n strafskop aan Engeland en dit gaan beslis aan die voorsprong gee. 'n Baie maklike strafskop reg voor die pale. Maar baie goed in die hande gekry deur die senter daar, Jeremy Cascott. Daar draf hy terug. En Serge Blanco kan nie gelukkig voel oor daardie ene nie.
Well, no, it looked as if the ball was going to come back on the England side there from that loose scrum under the post, but the referee deciding no, it wasn't going to emerge, and the penalty being given to England. So a chance to go ahead here, perhaps.
Daar's Gascott en die voorspelers onmiddellik by hom om te help tot reg onder die pale. En is daar waar die Franse aan verkeerde kant inklim. Het lyk of het Philippe Saint-André kon gewees het. En daar is Peter Winterbottom wat gaan kyk hoe Bob Andrew gaan probeer om het 9-6 te maak. Nie 'n moeilike skop nie. Nee, dis tog Simon Hodgkinson.
Well, that time he doesn't miss. He must feel a little better after that shocking miss from under the posts a couple of minutes back. So England go in front, 9-6. But it's developed into the type of game we thought it would, with England relying on that big, strong pack of forwards to get play into the French half of the field and keep it there. And France, of course, any opportunity to run it back at the English, they're going to take. And what a magnificent try scored by France.
Goeie gemiddelde daar vir Hodgkinson, 15 punte per wedstryd hierdie jaar. En nou sit Didier Camberabero wat spel gaan hervat op die middelkolletjie.
And again, persisting with that long kick downfield inside the in-goal area. And Rob Andrew deciding to kick. Not making too good a job of that by the looks of things.
Lyk of hy geskil het van die kant van die voet af, maar die einde van die dag nie 'n slegte skop nie.
Well, he's England's version of Lars Boerter, of course. He's a superb tactical kicker. And England rely on him heavily.
Voorin lyn staan vir die Franse ondarts, vir die Engelse Jeff Propijn. Opgetel deur Dean Richards.
Andrew again, fine kick to see that. Putting it out into touch the difficult way. The referee obviously spotting an infringement.
Die voorspelers wat in die scrims baie goed vaar teen mekaar tans. Jy sien hoe stil staan en die Franse wat so ietwat loop hierdie keer met hom.
Held under the back by Richards. Number 8 for England. To Hill, to Andrew, inside the 22. Right foot. And this time he's going to have no problem finding his touch. Taking played it just inside the English half of the field.
Miskien Engeland wat in hierdie stadium die skoner balle wen. Baie meer tyd vir die loskakel op Andrew om skoon te maak daarachter. Weer eens 'n kort lyn staan, hierdie keer 4 spelers in die lyn staan deur die Franse en hulle wissel hom baie af. Philippe Marocco wat hom insit.
That time the short line-up does work for France, but untidy ball.
En nou aan die diskant is dit Philippe André. Simon Hodgkinson onder groot druk.
Did well not to lose possession there because, as you say, under a lot of pressure there.
En die Franse lyk lus om te hardloop met die bal. Ons gesien daar die 3 van hulle het hulle gehardloop vanuit hulle eie doelgebied uit en hier weer was dit Philippe André wat baie goed beweeg het met die bal.
Well, one good thing about the day, it looks like a fine day for rugby in English terms, and that'll suit the French. They don't want this ball to get wet.
En dit kon ook 'n strafskop gewees het, byna gelyk of hy hom daar met opset oor die kantlyn gegooi het. En dit is tog ook so, dis waarvoor die strafskop toegeken is. Die bal met opset oor die kantlyn gegooi basies deur Simon Hodgkinson om die spel so dood te maak. En kom ons kyk of Didier Camberabero dit 9-11 kan maak. Engeland loop voor 9-6, 2 strafdoele en 'n skepdoel teenoor die doel van die Franse.
Well, Camberobero's had a shot at goal already. He missed. This perhaps a more angled kick, but certainly not as far. Just outside the 22. Looks to have hit that well. High hanging ball, and we'll wait for the flags. And we're all on level pegging again.
Briljante skop van die kantlyn af deur Didier Camberabero. Die Franse nou 1 strafdoel en 1 doel. 5 punte deur Camberabero reeds aangeteken.
Nice to see a bit of French support there in the crowd. Well, it's not so far to come from Paris of France.
Interessant om te sien hoe diep die Franse voorspelers daar staan by die aanskop wat hulle gaan ontvang. 'n Goeie 6-7 meter agter die 10-tree lyn. Rob Andrew was vir sy voorspelers vra, is hulle gereed? Die bal was uitgewees. Ek dink Engeland het hom onder beheer. Ja, hy kom in die agterlyn toe. Andrew teen die agterlyn af. En dis weer Hodgkinson wat die voet daarby kry as hy nie mooi bemeester kan word deur Jeremy Cascott nie. Will Carling, die ander center, kaptein van Engeland, wat ook daar in aksie was, maar die bal kon nie deur hulle bemeester word in die agterlyn nie. Of beheer word nie. En nou is dit Pierre Babezier. Weer eens gaan hulle sak, hierdie keer sukkel om daar die skram gevorm te kry. Skeieregter wat gesels met die 2 voorrye daar. En weer eens aan die oorkant lyk dit vir my asof dit Raskobe is wat nie sy kop daar kan inkry nie. Vryskop. En gaan Engeland hardloop met hom. Ja, na die oorkant toe. Terug na die voorspelers toe. En nou na die diskant toe. Andrew, 'n pragtige loopie van hom. En dadelik is die skramskakel Richard Hill weer by. Die voorspelers is daar om te help. Dean Richards. Sien ook vir Peter Winterbottom, Wade Dooley is daar. En steeds wag hulle vir die bal agter Engeland. Franse wat hou daar. Hulle beweeg vorentoe. Nee, Engeland gaan toch die bal insit. Nou ja, dit is radiokommentaar van die BBC is weer beskikbaar en kom ons sluit aan by ons kommentators.
The first half left to go. England 9, France 9 in that Grand Slam decider. At Murrayfield, the latest, where they're approaching half-time there, it's Scotland 9, Ireland 15. Ireland going ahead with a try from Robinson that's been converted by Smith. So Ireland on course to become the first team to win at Murrayfield for 9 matches as we go to Twickenham, that Grand Slam decider, and Ian Roberts.
Teague is immediately tackled by Bentley, but he goes through the tackle. And the England back are over the top now. The ball's on the ground. They're near midfield. They're 15 metres from the line. Slowly the ball is being edged forward. Back it comes. Out to Carling. To Underwood. Miss pass to Hodgkinson. Out to Underwood. Underwood goes for the corner. But it's 27th try in international rugby, and none has been more important than that.
The ball started at the ruck there where England set the ball up, set from the scrum. He sent the blind side forward, Teague around on the open side, and he made the try because he took 2 tackles, stayed on his feet, went on a yard or 2, turned, stayed on his feet again at the second tackle, then released the ball. And when the ball ended up wide out with Rory Underwood, there were no more French back row forwards there to do any tackling because Teague had committed them right under the post when he set the whole thing up. That was a remarkable piece of work, finishing by Underwood. Lovely fluent move by the England's recorders, but all stemming from that very productive and powerful England pack.
And there's no question this is far and away England's best performance of the season. It's a wholehearted team effort, and there the ball was whisked along the line, and the French, always so brilliant and breathtakingly good going forward, have never ever been quite so good going back. The All Blacks can go in retreat, the Wallabies can, the South Africans can, but the French have never been good going backwards, and today the English pack have forced them back over and over again. Hodgkinson now has this chance to give a 6-point lead to England. 20 metres in from the touchline, he kicks, the crowd rise in the south stand on their feet when the ball left Hodgkinson's foot, and we knew then the conversion was over. It's 15 points to 9, playing into the wind, England doing everything right.
And I think what's happened here now is that England have played a pack that have got more ball off them than all of the other 3 teams that they've played in the championship this year. The France are prepared to move the ball, and there's little breakdowns in midfield. Now, Winterbottom hasn't been much in evidence this season because of the way the England pack have won all the ball. They've had flat defences up against them, back row forwards fanning out waiting for tackles. But now Winterbottom is coming in, picking up all this second pace stuff, feeding his other colleagues in the back row. Dean Richards is a colossus of a player. He's having a great game, and England now very much in the ascendancy here.
Oh, Axford takes the kick-off magnificently two-handed. That was textbook rugby. The whole England background, support on both sides. Out to Hill, who sends a lovely high hanging kick towards Blanco. Blanco's underneath it. Headlock hits Blanco into Kingdom Come. The ball goes into touch, and the initiative is firmly with England at the moment. And that was the perfectly placed kick by Richard Hill.
Very difficult for Blanco, you know, with his high kicks. Just now when Guscott took one from him, the ball doesn't actually reach him. He's got to stay static. He's got to wait for it to arrive. And I think he could consider now, if they're going to keep raining them down, and to jump into the ball to take it, because what's happening is being snatched out of the air by the oncoming England attackers.
Another magnificent two-handed catch by Paul Axford. Richards already in to tidy it up. Yes, you'd have thought Heslop, only his 7th cap for England, would have shown some respect to a man who got 85 caps, but none of it. And again, France, frustrated, come round offside, and there's a bit of trouble there, but PC Richards and PC Axford are straight in to arrest the foul play immediately, and is 10 metres further on, and what was a very difficult kick for Hodgkinson now is a very much simpler kick. And that, we saw it in 1984 at Scotland under Jean-Pierre Rive, when the French, again with the Welsh referee Winston Jones, spent almost the entire 80 minutes arguing with them, and to get them fit, the referee kept marching them back 10 yards for 80 minutes.
Well, he's having a cracking game today, Les Peardy. He was in there right on the button, and he saw the big arm come round over the top of the English forward's head, went in instantly. Then there was a little bit of a scrap on the floor developed. He had some back chat from a French forward, marched him back 10 metres, and he's having a cracking game today, because it's the sort of game that could go the wrong way. These French now becoming a little dejected. They're frustrated, and that's when little bits of foul play and niggle start to come in, and you need a strong referee, and that's just what we've got today here with Les Peardy.
And we've heard from Murrayfield that match is at 15 all. Try Hastings for Scotland. Here it's 15-9 with this kick to come, and this will be absolutely crucial if Hodgkinson can put this over. Playing into the wind, he comes up, he hits. That's a much better kick, and that squeezes past the left hand upright, just over the crossbar. 18 points to 9, and Twickenham Twickenham is buzzing. The crowd here who began singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, the theme song, after quarter of an hour of this match, are absolutely on their feet now. This is the performance they've waited all year for. It was promised last March, it's been delayed 12 months, but now with a vengeance, England are taking a grip of this match.
And in the second half, they can look forward to the wind in their backs. They started to control the lineouts. They had a little difficulty there at the beginning of the game with England breaking up the France breaking up the continuity and using 2- and 3-man lineouts. But England now have settled into their 8-man pattern. They started a win ball, the winning tidy ball, and all that France get from that phase of the game is very untidy. It's all tapped and over the back of Babizier's head. And on one or two occasions, I see Babizier was standing a little bit too far away from the lineout, because when the balls drop down on the floor from a vertical high tap, you have to step forward towards these England forwards to get the ball, then make a clearance. So really, France in all sorts of disarray at the line out here.
And another penalty there, a chance for Rob Andrew to clear to touch and John Inverdale to bring us up to date.
Yes, it's half-time now at Murrayfield, 15-all, that try by Gavin Hastings and the conversion by Craig Chalmers. Some goals to tell you about in the Football League. David Platt, the only scorer in the first division so far for Aston Villa against Spurs. And Steve Bull has scored 2 goals for Wolves against Oxford in the second division, 2-0 at Molineux. And in the third, Grimsby 1, Brentford 0. I'll leave you to this aerial ping-pong, Ian.
Yes, Brian Moore catches it. He's got the whole French team offside and the referee just ignores that. Well, I can't understand that at all. The only ones who were offside actually were Caban, Benazi, Blonde, Rouma and Tajdi, and the rest were onside.
It was remarkable, that, because he gathered the ball very deep, did Brian Moore. He didn't really know what to do, because when he drove forward, there obviously was going to be no one behind him to help him, you know. So a difficult choice from there. He took the right option. He ran into touch with a Frenchman on his back as best way out.
Well, to keep John Inverdale interested, I can say this is all a question of déjà vu, because in 1984, the last time France were going for a Grand Slam away for home, they gave penalty after penalty away at the line-out. They were frustrated that day. They're frustrated this day. They've come up against a pack as good as the New Zealand All Black pack. They crushed France in November twice, and it looks as if England have got all the initiative today. They've played superbly up front. Ackford Dooley, and above all, Dean Richards. He's been a host in himself, and he's taken the whole game forward. He's had the pack behind him. He's driven, he's rolled, he's rucked, and he's dispirited, depressed and demoralised, bewitched and bedazzled this French team. And this is a great England performance. Hodgkinson a chance now to make it 21-9. Remember, playing into the wind in this first half. He's taken this. It's a mighty kick if he can get this. It's just 4 metres inside the French half. And he only takes 6 or 7 steps. It would be remarkable if he can get the distance for this kick. But the stand, the roof will come off. If he happens to hit this over, he hits it. He struck it well, but just to the right of the post. He had the distance. It was a long kick, but not quite there. And France decide to run it. Philippe Sella, the great French centre, runs into trouble now. Doubles back, goes back again and touches down. And Nigel Heslop thinks that he may as well just put the tackle in now. Clive Norling helps up Sella, and Serge Blanco takes the dropout. Oh, it's a poor dropout, but just as it looked as if Rory Underwood might have swallowed the ball, he fell over backwards and the ball shot past him. But that could have been a fatal mistake by Blanco.
He couldn't believe it, I think, Rory Underwood, because he sort of checked to wait to catch it and run, and then he fell over backwards. I think if he had the caught him, when he had plenty of room out wide there, and he's obviously the paciest winger on the field today. Without Leguisque playing for France today, I'm sure that Underwood would have had the pace to get in there.
2-man line out. England to throw in on the 22. Ackford at the front, Dooley behind. They win it. Out it comes to Andrew. He hoists another high kick up and serves Blanco under the post, 5 metres out. Blanco takes it superbly, but England take Blanco, and the ball should come back on the England side. They're waiting for it now. It won't come. It's a scrum to England, but in a very good attacking position. And that was another kick which surely would have persuaded Serge Blanco he's done the right thing to consider retirement.
But I think he got it right that time. He turned his back on the ball and jumped into the ball coming down, so that he wasn't static and he didn't get knocked over or bundled over his own try line. In fact, as he went down, he sort of went to ground, and it was safer there than it could have been anywhere else.
But the fact was that going backwards, the French pack were much slower to get to support him than the England pack going forward. And although he caught it, he was taken taken by 5 England forwards, turned round and thumped unceremoniously on the ground, and England have got the foot into the scrum. The French forwards are not so good going back.
No, well, it's always the way. I think what England have seen now is that Rob Andrews prepared to put long raking kicks into touch that can take the time getting there, and every 3 or 4 kicks he'll put a high one up, and they're all there. They arrive en masse, and you're quite right, Ian. They got there, they saw him take the dip. When he took the ball, they actually drove him as well. So tremendous play by this England pack now.
This is probably the last move of the first half, moving into injury time. The ball's held. England desperately would like to score before half-time. Hill goes down the blind side, gives it to Underwood. Oh, it's knocked on, but the referee plays the advantage as Blanco sets off right behind his own forward. Gives it out. Maynell sends a little dummy up to the 22. Now the ball goes loose and it's picked up, and England have a great chance if they can win this ball. They've gone into the maul with it. They're driving forward again. England go forward, and this is a scrum they could do with the ball comes out on the England side. Iron Mike T burrows forward, and through they go. Down the ball goes onto the ground. Back it comes though on the French side. Now it comes back on the England side. It's 6s and 7s. I think Les Beard, we've had enough. Blow the whistle. He does. He blows for half-time, and the score at half-time, to the delight of 55,000 England supporters at Twickenham, England 18, France 9.
Mike Burton there with Ian Robertson and David Parry-Jones.
Nou ja, die rustuittelling dan 18-9 wat Engeland voor is teen Frankryk en net hierna die tweede helfte.
Een evolutie van kracht. Eerbiedwekkend, doch beheers. Een evolutie van stijl. Klassiek, doch eietyds. Wat uiteindelik gestalte vind in die nuwe Opel Monza 200 CD. Dis toch allemaal se brandende begeerte om aan die stuur te staan van krag, nie waar nie?
Introducing a remarkable German tire, now made in this country, Continental. Continental tires. German engineering where you need it most on a car.
To give you powerful policy performance that stands on more than one leg, Sage Life brings you Multitrust, linked to not just one, but a selected range of leading unit trusts. Multitrust means you invest in the right unit trust at the right time. Multitrust stands alone, only from Sage Life.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Miss Walters. Tell me, what's the situation with the turbines? All systems go, is it?
All under control, sir. Mr. Bernardi's arranged transportation of Spoornet.
Spoornet, eh? Yeah. And everybody's aware of the urgency.
That's why Mr. Bernardi chose Spoornet.
Good. Good. Spark plugs. Spark plugs. What about those spark plugs that have to go to Leo Doringstad?
Spoornet are handling that as well, sir.
Excellent. Spoornet will really have to go out of their way for us. And we're absolutely sure that Spoornet will be there when we need them?
Yes. Absolutely sure, sir. In fact, sir, why don't you ask them yourself?
I must just quickly explain that Peter van der Berg thought it was April Fool's Day. It's not quite. He said it was snowing. Cobus Dowry apparently went out with the news team to film it all, but it's not snowing, believe me, here in Johannesburg. Half-time score between Scotland and Ireland, 19-15 Ireland lead. Let's go back to Twickenham for, let's hope, a pulsating second half.
Daar sê die Franse net buite die kortgebied van Engeland, maar is Engeland wat die bal kry. En is Rob Andrew wat hom nie gaan uitjaag nie, Serge Blanco.
ever thinking about the running option. Sees his ball swirl into Twickenham eddy, corrects into touch. Whilst on the near...
39 minutes away from a grand
from
slam.
Blanco, drifts into touch on the full.
It's going to be difficult for France now because this rain is getting quite heavy now. The wind is in the French faces. They're, you know, these sort of 9 points adrift, and it's going to be very difficult because the way that they play, they move the ball.
Set the line out a couple of metres inside the English half. Ahead by 18 points to 9. Now just 14 minutes away from their first Grand Slam for 11 years. Remember, they won the Triple Crown with their last match against Ireland, but this is the one they want. The Five Nations Championship title, and with it, the Grand Slam. And again, the French forwards penalised for going in over the top. And an opportunity here for England. It's a very long penalty attempt. In fact, it's beyond the range of Hodgkinson, a metre or so inside his own half. And Andrew, happy to drive the French back. 20 metres, the line out to take place midway, 22 and halfway. And some of the sparkle and some of the panache just seems to have gone from the French at the moment. They look almost a little lethargic out there.
Well, they're 9 points down, they're away from home, and it started to rain pretty heavily, but it is only 9 points.
Bizier, Blanco, and that's twice Serge Blanco has touched the ball in the second half, and each occasion it's backfired. He kicked into touch on the full, he's had his kick charged down, and it's just not his day. Perhaps just a little too casual with his kick. And England right on the French goal line, but it's Rumar that wins it, a timely one for the French. Near the front of the line-out, Dooley, the back of the line-out, or number 7 in the line-out. Here is number 5, and that's where the ball was directed, but it was won by Benazzi for France. Bizier, it must be a penalty. Bizier skittled by the English forwards, and France received the penalty 10 metres from their own line.
Ball well taken by Latif Benazzi at the back of the line.
It'll be interesting to see just what tactics England adopt in this second half with this 9-point lead, whether it will be just business as usual or whether they might be tempted to just be a wee bit more expansive.
Business as usual.
Also have the advantage of playing most of this match inside the French half. The French, of course, having to take the added risk of running it from deep inside their own territory all the time. As a rather misdirected kick, and Simon Hodgkinson, with all the time in the world, happy to kick the ball deep and far for Bizier, but Blanco might like to cook something up here, but again he sees those English loose forwards had him covered. There was no way through there for the silky French fullback, and all he could do was kick the touch. Mixing their line-out tactics from the 8-man line-out across the far side of the field to this, the next line-out on the near side, with just Akford and Dooley. A chapter of knock-ons there, the first infringement from the Frenchman in the line-out. And England again with the loose head. This very powerful front row of Jeff Probyn, Brian Moore, and their loose head prop Jason Leonard. He's the young member. He's very much the babe of the English pack, just 22 years of age, playing in only his 4th cap today. Replaced the veteran Paul Rendell. He's done a sterling job. Kick over the top again. penalised because once Blanco went down, those English forwards went over the top of him, and France received the penalty. Hill, who hasn't used that tactic much today, just lobbing the ball over the top of the scrum. He's used it to good effect in some of the earlier matches in this championship. Almost like a mortar attack, just lobbing it over the top and charging into the defence. Misty rain continues to fall here at Twickenham. The lineouts fairly even, with France ahead by 9 to 8, but that really doesn't tell the story of the lineouts. Essentially has been one of very little clean ball won by either side. The headband is Michel Tashajan, were called to the French side today. Roumar, who's probably been the pick of the forwards in either lineout today, winning another one for France, but he seemed to have somehow had the ball deprived of him, and ball shot out on the English side after it was clearly won by Roumar, but Roumar has been penalised.
I think he actually was on darts. He was from Buritska, teammate of Serge Blanco, and he got a bit of green, lashed out and created the prize goal. This is not the game that France want to play.
But losing it, that's an indication of the slippery nature of the ball after that heavy shower of rain we've had at half-time. It's eased off a bit now, but the ball no doubt slippery. It's been a rather scrappy start to the second half of this match, which is now 5 minutes old. No change to the half-time score of 18 points to 9. Surveyor looking around to see what he wishes to do with the ball before freeing it to Andrew. And Blanco getting plenty of work in the second half, and this time he's found touch. Again, he realises there was nothing much on there. The English cover defence caught napping once in the first half when Blanco ran from inside his own goal this time, and for the remainder of the match so far anyway, they've had their defences spread wide every time Blanco takes the ball inside his own 22. Again, some lifting going on in the line out there by the French. But this time it was the English, in fact, who have been penalised, and it's the French with the penalty, and Cambera Barreau.
Brendan, do you get the feeling that just looking at the game in front of us, the English now are, to a certain extent, just sitting on the lead and just sort of happy almost to play out time? Is that the sort of feeling you get?
Exactly. The match really doesn't seem to be going anywhere at the moment. It's really up to the French to break out of this hold that England have got on them at the moment. England with the 9-point advantage, happy to virtually close the match down, keep it tight, and just play error-free rugby for the remaining 35 minutes of this match. And there we see another example of it. Andrew putting the ball high in the air, waiting for the Frenchmen to make the mistakes, and they've made a few this afternoon, and they've made another one. And they just don't seem to want to learn, the French forwards. Time and time again today they've been penalised for not staying on their feet, and that was another occasion, and another opportunity for Simon Hodgkinson.
Son Andre on the ground.
The French left winger, the kick from Rob Andrew, pinpoint accuracy, down he goes. Now it's Benazir that I think has been penalised there. He made no attempt to stay on his feet at all. Son Andre feeling a little groggy, and Simon Hodgkinson, a chance to add to the 11 points he's kicked already today, extend the English lead from 18 points to 9 to 21 to 9. Really does have an outstanding record here at Twickenham. In his 5 previous tests here at Twickenham, Hodgkinson has scored 81 points. So he's averaging over 16 points a test here on his home ground. And he's on target today to finish up at least with 16 points. He's kicked 11 already. That includes 3 misses. Hodgkinson from 37 metres. This to make it 21-9. Quite finding the accuracy that has marked his kicks in the last 20 minutes of the first half, but the French in a bit of bother anyway as they knock the ball on in that frantic scramble to clear the ball. Of course, anything can happen in those situations.
Yep.
Once it ricochets off the post, it usually bounces in all sorts of Richard angles, and the French just a little too eager there.
Xavier Blonde looked as though he didn't really want to get to grips with it.
Standing deep and directly behind the scrum, 20 metres behind his halfback. I think we're going to see another drop goal. Andrew, he's got one today. And just outside the right-hand upright with his second. So England with a handful of opportunities in this opening 10 minutes of the second half to add to their lead. It's all going well for England at the moment, ahead by 18-9 and playing the match virtually full time now inside the French half. Cowling, I think, will be back for the scrum. It was an awkward one for the England captain. Intended to shoot along the ground. I suppose in cricket they'd call that a shooter. And that's exactly what happened after it bounced. It didn't get up at all above ankle height. And a clean bowl for old Will Cowling.
I think probably they would have 9-point lead, captain the side, they might win the Grand Slam for the first time in 10 years. Sense we're looking the French to break out of this, because although it started off like a prior crack at the game, was expected from this.
Well, of course, another converted try would suddenly make this match a different ball game. At 18 points to 15, the French would be right back in this match. They need the try, but at the moment they'll settle for the penalty. All right, there's Kambera Barreau steps up. It's a long kick at goal for the French standoff half, or first 5/8. He's 47 metres from the goalposts.
You know that Kambera Barreau, he advertises hair weaving techniques.
Well, that's right. I think he's probably got the most celebrated hairpiece in international sport, complete with a little bit of grey colouring there by the look of it. Also has, of course, a rather celebrated pedigree with both his father and his uncle having played Test match rugby for France back in the 1960s.
Dr. Takijon, who's the chef from Paris, is he coming up?
I think he is. He looks a very groggy fellow. His right knee was heavily strapped when he came onto the field for the start of the match, and I think he's suffered a further injury to it. And Michel Tachijan is leaving the field as Marc Session, whose 2 appearances at the 5 Nations Championship so far this year have been at number 8, comes onto the field.
It was a sad time when someone's got an injury coming off, and I'm sure Takijon would really want to stay out there, but obviously he is.
Michel Tachijan, who came into the French side because of an injury suffered to Garonia in the match against Wales, now himself having to leave the arena because of an injury. Didier Kambera-Barreau trying to narrow the gap from 9 to 6 points for France after 10 minutes of play in the second half. So that's 1 each off the uprights in the second half, and this match continues to hang almost on a knife edge and gets feeling that every kick at goal here is absolutely crucial to the outcome of this match. Although the French are down by 9 points, they cannot by any stretch of the imagination be discounted. Now this is the best opportunity they've had in the second half. They've got half the team out here at the backs and forwards as they combine so well. Salah tries to drift through a little half gap. Mariko to Session, the new man on the field. They're only 15 metres from the English post. Now the French have got some ball at last. A lot of Englishmen there though, as compared to Barreau. Kicks over the top. It's going down on the line. Try! Defensive lapse by England. And the French are back in this match. It's 18 points to 13. Let's see who scored that try. It came from the kick from this man, Didier Quimbeira-Barreau. There was a whole flank of Englishmen out there. There was no way through, thought Quimbeira-Barreau. So a beautifully judged little kick. And there were 2 or 3 Englishmen waiting underneath it. Hodgkinson was there, Carling as well. And yes, Quimbeira-Barreau followed up and got the try. The English captain, Will Carling, he went up. In fact, a misunderstanding really, I think, between Dean Richards and Will Carling, and they've paid the price.
There wasn't too many cooks more in the broth there. That's the second time. The first try, Quimbeira-Barreau did a great little chip and run, and hear the French crowd now. The French guys in the crowd singing. They're back in this game. Game on with still 30 minutes to go.
Quimbeira-Barreau fails to convert his own try. And the score remains at 18 points to 13, and it all came, oddly enough, from a penalty attempt from this man, which ricocheted off the uprights. And as we said before, they are a bit of a lottery when they rebound off the upright, and this time the numbers came up good for France. So at 18 to 13, it does mean, of course, that France are within a converted triumph winning this match.
That's right, and Cécilion, the new player, is no slouch. She's from the Bourgogne club, which is not famous, but he's famous in that club.
What a marvellous match this has been, as it's ebbed and flowed, with neither side able really to get away from the other. Just when we thought perhaps that the Frenchmen were down and out for the count, they've come back.
It'll be England knowing now that they're only 1 score away. The French have taken the lead. It'll be interesting to see if they change their game plan. I would doubt it.
As Richard Hill and Brian Moore having a discussion out at the touchline before the formation of this line-out. Dooley and Eckford, one for Hill. Will Carling decides to have a little there, but there's a forest of blue jerseys there. There's no way through to the English captain, but it's good ball, however, because the English forwards have got in behind their captain literally here. And Carling, here he is, number 13. I don't know whether he's enjoying that. He probably is. They've made 15 or 20 metres, and they haven't finished yet. Mauling there by the Englishmen as they rolled the Frenchman back 25 metres. It all started from Will Carling, who's looking rather groggy as he wanders out of that maul like a boxer who's just stepped out of the ring after 15 tough rounds.
It looks at that conversation between Dean Richards and Bill, but Mike T, builder from Gloucester, looks as though he's injured. He's got a bit of a bang in the nose. Mike's a builder and carpenter by trade, and Serge is going to see it.
Nice touch there from Serge Blanco, the French captain, who jogged up from his position at fullback. It's the 30-year-old Englishman from Gloucester today, playing in his 16th test. He's the man, of course, who was named as player of the series when the Lions had that successful tour down under recently. A marvellous series for the Lions, a 3-match test series.
It looks to me as though actually his nose is gone, but I think that's not going to stop Mike from playing on.
And prior to this match today, he was England's top try scorer in the 5 Nations Championship match this season with 2. Scored against Wales and scored against Ireland, but Underwood, with his second try today has joined him on that score. The English forwards again. Hill doing good work there to keep the ball alive after it had gone astray from Paul Ackford. Midway 22 and halfway is England realising that they might just have the measure of the Frenchmen with these rolling mauls. But away come the French. Now this is interesting. Bad luck there for Philippe Salah. The French backs had some room, but the pass just got away from Salah. Blanco exhorting his team to a greater effort. Time starting to tick by.
Although we've still got something well over 25 minutes to go. And one score either way.
Line out 10 metres outside the 22. And England again win it, and again the French, and it just could well be that the ill discipline of the French will be the telling factor in this match. And tempers getting rather frayed out there, as some rather foolish play there from one of the French loose forwards, Xavier Blonde, who in fact is pushed away by his own teammates. He chipped the referee, and I think he's gone back to have some more words with him. Now this is crazy stuff from Xavier Blonde. He'll get his marching orders if he doesn't watch it. Les Peard, this policeman from South Wales, he's not interested in any nonsense from the Frenchman. Once more, he says, and you're off.
I think, in fact, Serge Blanco, amongst many other talents, is playing diplomatic extraordinaire there and apologising on behalf of Xavier, who's known by the French as Monsieur X.
Well, that was a rather nasty incident there from Blonde, who seemed as if he was almost wanting to physically intimidate the referee, as he was pulled back by his own teammates after the referee had indicated the penalty. There he is, number 6, who's been penalised, and he was outraged at the decision as he says something to the referee, and there you can see him putting out a hand and literally intimidating physically the referee. Now he was very, very lucky, I suspect, Andy Ripley, not to be marched there.
I don't think it's intimidation. I think it was not like a small boy who had his toy taken away from him, but maybe he was lucky.
And at the end of it all, Simon Hodgkinson with a chance to extend the English lead again. Points to Simon Hodgkinson. 14 points today for the English fullback. It's 21-13.
It started raining even harder.
So 21 minutes of the match remaining. 23 minutes, but we've also had 3.5 minutes of injury stoppage so far in this half. So there's still plenty of time left in this match for the French, but they're now out beyond the 6-point range. They're going to have to score twice to win this match. But who would be so foolish to suggest they couldn't? On the 22. Dooley that does good work to recover it. For Hill and for Andrew from inside his 22. It's a try to the Frenchman back again. No praise really can be too high for this master tactician of Rob Andrew, who really has matured immensely as an international 5'8" in the last couple of years. Playing today in his 35th test. Indirect free kick. French, of course, happy to run it. Salah, so quick and so easy does he seem to be able to slip through those little half gaps. Strong running there from Session. Camberabero to Blanco, the little chip over the top, testing one here for Nigel Heslop as Saint-André chasing at full steam. And the French find themselves parked on the English goal line. Need really to score from this situation. They've had very few excursions so deep into the English half that they really must make the most of them when they do come. The last time they were down there, they did score.
French are hunting for points.
Blanco. He's got to find his man. He did act it. It's loose again on the goal line. Just appeared in a perfect situation to see the ball if it came loose. But he's awarded a penalty by the look of it to France. There's something that must have happened there after the whistle had gone. It may have been some back chat from one of the Englishmen. They may have chipped him. And the French, I think Babizier was initially keen to take the tap penalty there. In fact, I think they still might be. But Blanco has come up, and really they must kick the goal, because if Cabrera-Barreau does goalless, they're back inside the 6-point margin. So the French, not that it's of much consolation to them, are ahead in the try count today, 2-1. The difference has basically been the goal kicking of Simon Hodgkinson and the tactical kicking of Rob Andrew. Now, the whistle went for a scrum. Then I think one of the Englishmen must have said something, or in fact they may have thrown a punch after the whistle had gone, and the scrum was converted to a penalty. Cabrera-Barreau, this to make it 21-16. Had so much height on it. It was a very good kick from Cabrera-Barreau because it gave his players a chance to get up underneath it. Score remains at 21-13.
Jeremy Guscott would not enjoy that.
French still lurking dangerously within 25 metres or so of the English goal line as Rumar taps it back. Taken in by the French forward. Session, the new man, has it, and is now there for Babizier. Cabrera-Barreau, the skip pass. Maynell, who's had a very quiet day. Unfortunately, Serge Blanco, he's having an up-and-down sort of day, the great French fullback today. Everything he did a fortnight ago at the Parc de France seemed to turn to gold. As he shakes his head, he's frustrated. He knows he just can't get any fluency into his game, any rhythm into his game today. 2 weeks ago, he would have plucked that ball, awkward though it was, out of the air and kept the movement going. But today, things aren't just going his way. Room here for Lafon. He's pretty strong off his left foot. It's his natural foot. And it's a good kick from the French right winger. The rain again continues to sheet across the pitch here at Twickenham. Coming down rather heavily at the moment. And it's rather gloomy spring afternoon here in the British capital. And that really is a very telling story, with Rob Andrew only having passed the ball on 5 occasions from the 18 he has received it. Mind you, Cabrera-Barreau also only having passed it 3 times out of 9, which is a little surprising. There's an overlap here for Guscott to Rory Underwood. Doesn't get away from Cabrera-Barreau. Hill waiting for some support, taken into touch. Rory Underwood, who was so dangerous in those situations where he's got just a couple of metres. Explosive left winger for England from a similar situation as that, scored the vital try against Ireland a fortnight ago, which kept England on the path towards the Grand Slam. Dean Richards smashes his way through the French forwards and lays it back beautifully for Hill. Now the English backs are willing to run it. Guscott at pace, lost forward by Jeremy Guscott. The referee playing advantage here to France. I think the French will be quite happy for play to develop here. They don't want the scrum. Maynell, Blanco. The movement dies. No advantage to the French, and so we'll come back for that knock-on by Jeremy Guscott. It was really the first time the English backs have run hard inside the French half, at the French line.
There were some statistics there that Andrew only passed the ball 5 times, and I noticed he passed it twice very quickly after that. Perhaps the English are starting to run the ball.
Not a bad little kick either from Babizier, an awkward one for Simon Hodgkinson. He had to come in and he had to be positive with it. Salah, meanwhile, has made an absolute mess of it. Well, even the great have their off days, and Philippe Salah and Serge Blanco, who were in such heavenly form a fortnight ago at the Parc de France, their rugby was just electrifying, but today one is almost tempted to say they look ordinary.
Well, I would never say that about either of those two players. And still 15 minutes, and France are 9 points down. But England look as though they're in the ascendancy as Hill puts it away to the scrum to settle.
And the English team also not lacking for any vocal support at the moment, as this big crowd, 60,000, giving plenty of support to the home team going into this crucial final 15 minutes. There's Hill lobbing another one over the top. It's gone loose, and that is clearly offside. Is it Heslop, I think?
Heslop, but
he's got the try.
He's an enthusiastic player, Nigel.
He'll tell you that he scored 2 tries at Twickenham this year in the Five Nations Championship, one against Scotland and one against France. I don't think you'll be reading about it in the Sunday papers tomorrow. Well, who knows, he might. He still has 15 minutes. As Richard Hill prepares to feed the scrum. And this will be interesting indeed. The English, as Andy Ripley said, have shown a willingness in the second half to run the ball a little more than we might have thought. Perhaps they feel they're safe at 21-13. They can expand the game a little. There's a lot of discussion going on amongst the English backs. Simon Hodgkins has come up and said a few words to his captain. There's a big gap there between Guscott and Underwood. Up to the right of the picture, you can see Guscott there, and Simon Hodgkinson looking if he wants to join the back line. If they do, in fact, decide to move the ball, but the English forwards, first of all, going to have a little probe at the French line themselves. They make a few extra metres. They are only 7 or 8 metres from the French line, and I think the Englishmen sense that if they can score here, they have won the Grand Slam.
The spectators, the crowd here, enjoying themselves in spite of the rain, and now seem to be in full voice. England seem to be winning the match, and also the applause at this stage.
Remember, England have only twice in the last 60 years won the Grand Slam, and now they're just 15 minutes away from making it a 3rd time in 6 decades. But a very good shove from the French. The Englishmen coming away with it. They're only 15 metres short, and go the English forwards, rucking the ball back this time for Hill. It's there again for Heslop playing at halfback. Dean Richards tries again to charge his way through the French defence. But the French turn the Englishmen around and march them back, and they win the loose head.
Excellent defence by the French. One they put in. They will need to get away. The game is still within their reach, and they will need to get away from there.
It appears that one of the Frenchmen, Xavi Blonde, I think he's just doing up his shoelaces. And no tight heads in the match so far. Scrums going with the loose head on all 29 of them so far. The English rather lucky not to have conceded a tight head on that last scrum, when very good shove from France nearly pushed them off their own ball. 6 minutes of play plus injury time left here at Twickenham. And there's been a lot of injury stoppages in the second half, so we've probably got at least 10 minutes of play remaining. The time now really starting to loom as the enemy here for France. They've got to score twice in 10 minutes to win this match. Blanco, not of a mind to run the ball there.
And they'll be very happy just to run out of time the next 5 minutes up in this top corner of the pitch.
And after the shattering loss to Scotland 12 months ago in the Grand Slam final at Murrayfield, it shudders to think what might happen to the body and soul of English rugby if they were to throw this match away now. After all the hard work they've done over the last 12 months, they still openly concede that the memory of that loss to Scotland last year still hurts and the wound still deep. They have a chance here today to go a long way towards making amends. But they've got to hang on to this 8-point lead for the last 6 minutes. The French, on the other hand, of course, will need to score twice.
Jeff Brogan offside there.
Didier,
Jason Leonard is offside.
Didier Kambeda-Barreau have happy to kick for touch. And it's a good kick from the French outside half. A good 40-metre kick taking play down inside the English half. So England unbeaten, incidentally, here at Twickenham for 3 years. They've got a very good record on their home ground, and they certainly won't want to give that away in the last 10 minutes of this match as well.
I believe the next game here is against New Zealand.
It's on October the 3rd, the opening match of the World Cup, and I guess there will be many who will suggest that it may well be that England and New Zealand will not only start the World Cup, but they might finish it a month later here on the same ground. And
I was French-Australian, from the one of the island teams, I might take exception.
Violently disagree to that. I don't think there's any doubt about it that if England do win today, that they probably be entitled to rank second in the world at the moment, although they're only, I notice, seeded 8th for the World Cup. The seedings came out a couple of years ago as the French decide it's time to open it up. Across to Lafond. He's going to have Rory Underwood on. Blanco, but the pass was astray. Blanco looming up on the inside, and the ball eventually goes into touch on halfway. Blanco, I think, quick, wanting to take the restart, and Blanco, he looked over the top of the line-out, and for a moment I thought he was going to throw a 20-metre pass into the midfield. But the French probably need to rely now on something out of the ordinary. They will have to use some of that wonderful improvisation, which they're so good at doing, to really snatch victory here from what appears to be the jaws of defeat at the moment. 21-13 they trail.
Rumat's an impressive player, yeah.
Some argue that he's the best line-out forward in Europe. He hasn't been quite so dominant today against Dooley and Ackford as he was against the Welsh a fortnight ago. Reverting more to this tactic now of kicking the ball over the top and keeping the ball close to the touchline, and just effectively shutting the French down. As this time the French do that quick throw in, and they throw it deep. Blonde, Cambera Barreau, and it's a very good smothering tackle, and the Frenchman couldn't unload the ball, and the English forwards are there to kill it now, but the French backs have it again. Saint-André, he must let it go, but he's carrying it on, and he slipped out of a couple of tackles. And there's room out here on the left for Salah. It's 3-on-2. Blanco, beautiful try, is it? Maynell, he's having Richard Hill on. I think he's too good for the English halfback. The French are back. The Grand Slam isn't over yet. It's 21-17. The kick to come. The French once again improvising and scoring a magnificent try. Remember, it started from the deep throw-in. It caught the English defence napping. Salah managed to hang onto the slippery ball. The gap opened up on the left wing. It looked a little dodgy there for a moment as Blanco managed to get his pass away, and Maynell, he had 3 Englishmen to contend with, and he was too clever, too quick and too fast for Richard Hill. It's 21-17. 3 tries to 1. Frank Maynell, he scored a brilliant try against Wales, but I guess he'll remember this one with even more memory because it's come at such a vital stage of the match. And who knows, as Cambera Barreau converts the try, it's 21-19. There's just 2 points in it. We have 7 minutes of the match remaining. Let's just sever this brilliant French try again. Andy Ripley.
Serge, onto Frank Maynell, the linguist. He can also run a bit. He feels good, and so does France. He goes over. Great conversion by Cambera. I'm not too sure how long it is to go yet, but there's 2 points difference, 21-19. England players, though, that's 1 penalty kicking Cambera and kicking from anyway.
So where will Rob Andrew put this ball? Deep on shore again?
They just want to kick off the park and run the clock down.
But of course, in kicking the ball deep, he does give the French the opportunity to run the ball. And that's exactly what they want to do. No, yes, says Cambera Barreau after changing his mind. And the English, of course, must make sure of their tackles. And these 50-50 balls are very important. That man's offside. Xavier Blonde, what a mistake to make with just 5 minutes minutes of the match remaining. Xavier Blanc coming in from an offside position, and Simon Hodgkinson. He's never had a more important kick in his short career than this one. The Grand Slam sits firmly on the frail shoulders of the little English fullback. Serge Blanco, he's telling his team it's not all over yet. He wants more discipline.
As important as anything else, Brendan, this is using up the clock.
So Hodgkinson, by his own standards, has had a rather ordinary sort of day, only 5 from 9.
Which probably is the world record.
This could make it safe for England. 20 metres. He's missed it. He's put it out to the right. So the drama continues here at Twickenham. It's still a very open match at 21-19. The French can win it with one kick. And Simon Hodgkinson, who must have been a bag of nerves, we're into injury time. We've played a minute of injury time. The French trying to improvise again, and the Englishmen have been penalised for killing the ball. They must take the tap penalty and run it. They must keep the ball alive. They've got to get inside the English half, and a drop goal, of course, will win it. Camberabaro. Xavier Blanc, the Englishman, absolutely determined to make their tackles. It's in the hands of the referee now. There have been a lot of stoppages, remember, in the second half. The referee, he looks at his clock, and that's it. It's all over. The Englishman absolutely delighted. A nail-biting finish. A memorable game of rugby. But in the end, the Englishmen have prevailed. And the most enjoyable scenes at Twickenham, I'm sure, for many, many a year. And the sad look on the face of Serge Blanco, his final appearance here at Twickenham for France in a Five Nations match, and he came so close to pulling off a magical victory for his side, but the moment belongs to the Englishman. Blood from the nose of Mike Teague. I'm sure he's totally unaware of that. And this normally restrained crowd here at Twickenham, unleashing a torrent of emotion and joy as the Englishmen, one by one, the mob, it's like a scene from a pop concert here. Will Carling, Rob Andrew, he's loving every moment of it. Goodness only knows what the Englishmen will do if they win the World Cup in 6 months' time. And Will Carling, what a sweet moment for him. The Englishmen who have not been without their critics